Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to give a full series review of Mermaid Saga by Rumiko Takahashi. This is another one of Viz's new kind of perfect edition releases. They've been doing a lot of Rumiko Takahashi re-releases because a lot of her stuff that they printed way back in the day is out of print. Mermaid Saga being one of them. I know Mermaid Saga was in the initial like floppy single comic edition because I've seen those around. I can't remember, but maybe it was also released in like a tankobon format. I'm sort of seeing like a bluish purpley cover, but I could be completely wrong on that. But either way, any editions that Viz has previously printed are well out of print, and so they've been reprinting a lot of Rumiko Takahashi stuff, Mermaid Saga included, and these are about 2 volumes each, but the first one is a bit thicker than the second one. But either way, these are gorgeous editions with really pretty, I don't know if you can see the little embossed, yeah, you can kind of see the sparkly little embossed dots, and then like the colors, it's got gorgeous French flaps, and really, really nice matte color pages as well in all the volumes. There is a bit of nudity because it's mermaids and mermaids don't have shirts. But anyway, Mermaid Saga is actually a horror series, which is a bit different. Though Rumiko Takahashi does do gore and violence in Inuyasha, for example, which I really like. I like her art style. I like her depictions of action scenes are really cool. And so a series like this that is explicitly a horror kind of series is really cool to see. And I like that it's short, because it kind of gives you a little bit of a taste without it being something like Inuyasha, which is, I think it's over 50 volumes long. Or even My Son Ikoku, which is 15 volumes long. This is a short one that now you can get in 2 volumes from Viz. So in terms of the actual release, physically gorgeous, well worth buying. And the story, which I had never previously read, is quite interesting as well. It's kind of episodic. It's like a monster of the week sort of thing, except it all revolves around mermaids. Our main character is Yuta, this man on the back here, and he consumed some mermaid flesh, which does one of 2 things. It either grants you immortality or it turns you into this horrible, grotesque monster thing. And for him, granted him immortality. And so he's like several hundred years old. He's been wandering the earth trying to reverse this. I guess if only a mermaid can actually reverse the immortality, I guess, or release him from this spell of immortality, because he's lonely and he's tired of living, and he would like to pass on. And so he's searching for a mermaid, and he ends up meeting this girl, Mana, who, I'm not going to spoil her circumstance, but he ends up, meeting her and kind of pairing up with her, and she's kind of reinvigorating him a little bit. He's this tired old man, hundreds of years old, stuck in this young man's body, and he wants to pass on, and he meets this girl who just has a zest for life as he gets to know her more, and he just kind of is starting to kind of enjoy himself a little bit, and enjoying her company and enjoying what life is like with her. And so while at the same time he's still searching for mermaids, and he keeps coming across people who are either also immortal due to eating mermaid flesh, or in the process of doing some kind of evil deed using mermaid flesh. And so, yeah, it's a lot of violent, kind of grotesque situations that he comes across and tries to remedy, because he either wants to save other people from this immortal life / stop people from mistreating and misusing mermaids in general. And yeah, it's and save people also from turning into the grotesque monsters, because more often than not, when you eat the mermaid flesh, you don't get to be immortal. You turn into this horrible thing that because it's a poison basically, and only select few people can actually survive eating the flesh and being granted immortality. So yeah, it's just, so here's another cool color page, and the color pages aren't just at the beginning, they're spread throughout, so it's really excellent. The art is really, really cool. I enjoy Rumiko Takahashi's art style. I know that some people think it's outdated looking and they don't really like it, but I just think that it's so reminiscent of, the time period, and it reminds me of my childhood because I grew up on Inuyasha. So I always have a soft spot for Rumiko Takahashi's art. But yeah, the larger trim size also gives enough space to really appreciate the art. But yeah, it is, like I said, it is violent. There's kind of one of the monster sort of looking things, but it is violent. So if you're sensitive to gore, be aware of that. It's not really a romance. You could say there's some romantic undertones that happen throughout it, but for the most part, it is really focused on that story, and it is episodic in that a few chapters will focus. I think there's maybe 4 major kind of stories that happen across the series. So you get kind of a few different scenarios, and you get to see them from the point where Yuta and Mana meet the person to the end of their kind of part of the story. Usually it does not end without some bloodshed or tragedy, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun story. I mean, immortality in itself is not a new concept, and mermaids themselves are also not a new concept, but I think that it's not something we see. Mermaids aren't something we see a lot in anime and manga, I think. At least I haven't read a lot of manga that have mermaids in them, so it's a fun thing, especially if you're into that kind of mermaid folklore, where mermaids are not this, just beautiful creatures, but they're actually kind of evil. And lure people in and all that kind of stuff. It's fun and interesting, and I like horror series, so this is right up my alley. But yeah, beautiful releases, well worth it. They are quite expensive, so just find a sale and pick them up, because they're quite good, and especially if you're looking to collect, they look really nice with the My Sanikoku ones as well that Viz is putting out. It's all the same size and style with the French flaps and everything. So, yeah, I mean, if they keep releasing Rumiko Takahashi stuff in this way, then we'll all have really beautiful collections of her stuff. So, yeah, if you've read Mermaid Saga, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, if you have any other Rumiko Takahashi recommendations, I'm sure folks in the comments would enjoy that as well, or just other kind of shorter horror series that may be similar to this one. I'd love to hear those, because I'm always looking for something good to read. So yeah, thanks for watching.